So, do you think, after, it's a great conversation we're having, but do you think the industry, all of us collectively, should be promoting natural bodybuilding more? We're working on a film right now. It's about natural bodybuilding. I've been to a few different shows, and we filmed at a lot of different events. And of course, the scale is much, much smaller. You can clearly see it, and of course, it's not publicized as much. The athletes in this organization are not as well known. But do you think we collectively, should be pushing the agenda of natural bodybuilding, or do you think it's just not gonna ever
I'm
become as
gonna
popular?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not gonna happen. People want to see the big people. I told you it's adrenaline, and adrenaline is tied to serotonin and dopamine. People want to see it. I'm not promoting that. I'm just saying people want NFL football. Orthopedic surgeons. I know some of these professional guys that are actually patients of mine. These guys sit in the sidelines and wait for injury. Am I right or wrong?
Which guys? The
Professional NFL orthopedic surgeons that are on the sidelines of NFL games. Okay, so someone a long time ago said, Doc, someone put you down like you're making money on this, you're promoting this. What? And one of the guys responded in the thread, and he said, the doc is like an NFL. I mean, when you go to an NFL game, the orthopedic surgeon is going to come on. So here's what's happening. People, thank you for covering natural bodybuilding, giving people an alternative. You give an alternative, and I give an alternative, and then I educate on them what could happen. And when something happens, I will rush in to protect you. So it's never going to go away because NFL is not going away, which is, I'm glad it's not. I love NFL. So extreme sports, NASCAR, and this stuff is not going to go away. Can we make it safer? That's what I'm looking into research on that. And we're not there yet. I'm not there for today. I say I have to warn against it. And then if you do harm yourself, like an opioid doctor is going to work on, or anyone else, or an orthopedic surgeon, I will rush in to help you and to limit the suffering that you've caused to yourself. But in the future, you're going to see more. It's not going to go away because remember what I said in one of your movies. Remember the Romans. But you, thank you for, and I like to see the movement of natural, and I've taken in natural natty bodybuilders. You know what? That some of them are on test boosters and they consider themselves natural, and their testosterone's in the garbage. So I don't know. We don't know what test
from
boosters.
boosters from taking like.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
I've seen like a very maybe a handful over the 10-year period. It is interesting, and it looks like, I look at the test and think, Doc, how can this tribulus and all these test boosters? I've never done steroids, no pro hormones, no SARMs, but my T is low. Like I did use those. So it is crazy. And like, again, that's part of my research we're working on. Like, what are these agents? How do they work in the brain? What do they do to the brain to shut it down? Not to mention, what do they do to the heart? How do we work? I'm working with, I'm always working with expert kidney doctors on trying to limit suffering because these men are into various degrees of kidney failure.
I feel bad for a lot of the natural bodybuilders, especially the ones that are, they actually don't cheat. They say they're natural and actually fully not. Because I know a lot of those guys actually take stuff, behind the closed doors. But
Yeah.
that's a different story. But the ones that actually stay natural, I feel bad for them because on one hand, you have them following the path, listening to guys like you, to other people that criticize, the use of PEDs to a certain extent, and they want to be, on the right path according to them, right? But on the other hand, people say, yeah, we think steroids are bad, but we don't want to see a natural show. You know what I mean? And it's like, what are they supposed to do? You know what
But
I mean?
here's the deal, though. The natural guy, there's no free lunch. I told you that. Think of spiritualism and energies in the world. The natural bodybuilder goes out after the show and has a burger and a glass of wine or something, or a drink like the regular guy does, like the steroid user does too. But guess what? The natural guy goes to sleep. His organs are fine. So the natural guy, don't feel sorry for him. He's not gonna get hurt.
No, I know
right?
that. I know, of course. But I mean, as far as him getting recognition for his craft, for his
Bread and circus, Romans, bread and circus, Romans, NASCAR, adrenaline, NFL. We want big, we want strong, we want crazy. Mixed martial arts, brother. People want it, man. So you're the media guy, and it's not something that it's. My mother says it's not something she says that's good or bad. Of course, steroid use is bad. It's something that is. It just is. So the powers to be should absolutely, if we can, soften the blows and give alternatives, as you are, to the best. Because if there's that one person or a group that says, you know what, I'm really turned on by that natural bodybuilding, and that's good enough for me, as I'm an accountant, as I'm a cop, or I really don't want to go to the the dark side. But I'm not hating on those guys. You know what, guys come in that are natty, they go, Doc, I don't hate, or they say, when I turn from natty to non-natty, which is such a subjective, they think I'm natty, I'm just on test, or the guys that are cruising and I'm natural. You're not natural. You're on 200 milligrams of testosterone. That's not natural. It's not much, but it's not natural. So, but in the end, I hear these guys, they say, Doc, I don't hate on the pros. I'd love to be one of them, but Doc, I don't have the balls to do it.
yeah, I hear you.
It's amazing.
I hear you, man. That's an interesting response, right? Because I mean,
Yeah. I got to come up with some new stuff for all you guys, because you asked me the same questions. I got to be more progressive,
yeah. So what about the drug test that they give, right, for steroids? Is it easy to beat that test in your opinion? Because I hear like if you eat like certain edible steroids, they don't show up in a urine test. I mean, how is it, in your opinion, is it easy to beat that test?
Well, the drug test, I really don't know. I'm the anabolic doc, but and I get consults of professional athletes asking me about the drug testing, and I'm just going to tap out on that one. I don't know. I think that the urine, the IOC testing and all this stuff, and is really good. It's really really. I'm not good. It's good. I'm a good or a bad. They're very accurate, and boy, man, it's going to be hard to beat testing. So, NCAA, when indeed they do test, I do so many consults. You know how many consults I do on amateur but regulated amateur athletes, NCAA, and even some Olympic guys that are on the Olympic, they come to me to contest something. And I tap out on that, because I am not a lawyer. I'm not a testing expert. And Doc, this was a false positive. It was, we found that this agent was actually stimulating, and that's legal. That's illegal. That's a bio legal question. But the bodybuilders, let's be straight. Professional IFBB, there's no there's no drug testing. There's never going to be drug testing, right?
No, yeah, I'm talking about other like organizations
Track and field,
that
track
do.
and field. Yeah. So track and field, NCAA and Olympic level, which I do talk to, and different, amateur and professional levels of, biking. I have the bike, the road bike guys, right? Even some professional mountain bike guys, they're getting into steroids now. Why? Because it makes you strong as shit, and it makes you recover, right? And not to mention you feel great. So, and I see some of them getting busted, and they come to me, and I just say, you did some androgel. I mean, it didn't get out of your system. Your buddy said it would be out of your system in 3 days or a week, and it wasn't. What am I going to tell? I don't know. I mean, Anavar, Prop, short acting. These guys think it's gonna. Some of them beat it, and some don't. You're kind of throwing it down the dice. I don't really understand the testing. I'm not a testing expert. It's very complicated. This technology is very complicated.
It's funny you mentioned cycling because that whole Neil Armstrong story always amazed me. You know what happened to him? It's kind of a crazy story because they took away his titles, right? For all those.
Yeah, I know some of the people around him. He got busted because, it's funny, he got busted with a big mouth, I think. He was kind of cool and laid back, and it's just like the other guys, Barry Bonds, right? It's funny that, you piss off the wrong person in life, and they drop dimes on you, they come back, and that's how Armstrong, Lance Armstrong got nailed with that in the end, because they came up with a polymer in the bag that proved that he took a transfusion of blood. That's incredible. That was a polymer in the bag, plastic polymer. He didn't get busted with.
But the crazy thing is, whoever they gave the title to, the championship title, they probably use it also because it's rampant in the cycling world, right?
So I've had in the last 3 or 4 months, I've had a couple of, I'm breaking out of the bodybuilding, powerlifting world, which is awesome for me because I was not getting bored, but it's just like, oh my God, can I get some new guys coming in? Which is okay. So they came in, I was like, wow. And then one of the guys, there was a documentary on him, and I watched it, by some big documentary, and wow. And I talked to that guy. So, man, I mean, look, these are incredibly gifted athletes, but certainly back in the 90s and the early 2000, 2005, these guys were all on gear. Now, and EPO, blood transfusions. Isn't it crazy? I mean, like, I'm not a professional biker. I'm an ex-power lifter. I'm just a knuckle dragging yard ape guy, strong guy. I like to be strong and get high. So it's like, these guys are incredible. But the drugs, are they doing it now? I don't know. I mean, because the testing, the testing is super tight testing. That's what he told me that. He said, now it's pretty natty, he said. And I don't know, maybe he's completely wrong. That would be a great research. You should do something on that, but they're tight. The testing is really, really tight.